I'm going to call on each of you, and I'm going to get Andre to go first so he can give me a demonstration. And I want to know how your family makes rice. Super easy, okay. Super simple. So I want you, and Andre's going to demonstrate, I want you to be specific. So I don't just want you to say, my family makes rice and eats it with chicken. I want you to tell me what kind of rice you buy, who in the family cooks it, what type of device do you cook it in, where do you eat it, that type of thing. And this can be your parents, this can be you and your household, this can be your grandparents or an aunt or uncle, anything like that. I just want to know how your family makes rice. So Andre, how does your family make rice?
So my mom usually makes the rice, and she fries spring onion first in olive oil, and she loves olive oil, so she uses plenty because she says it helps the rice not stick. And then add salt, obviously, and this is just for white rice, so we just buy white rice usually. And then lets it cook. Usually she will use a pot, like a regular pot, because she doesn't really think that rice cookers are real, I guess. She's like, you can just use a pot. So we'll use that. And yeah, it tastes delicious. It took me a whole year to learn how to make it so it tastes like hers. A lot of trial and error. Very simple recipe, but very difficult to execute properly.
How long does it take to cook?
20 minutes on the dot.
Beautiful. Thank you, Andre.
Welcome.
Christine, how does your family make rice?
Well, I don't know how my mom made rice because when I was in Hong Kong, I was never allowed to be in the kitchen. You know, it was very strict rule back then. Like kids, go to school, come home, and do your homework. Only time to watch TV is dinner. Nobody talks. Anyway, so when I came to Canada, I really have to call my mom, like, how do you make rice? But it wasn't really helpful. So after all these years, we buy jasmine rice right now, and I couldn't cook rice without a cooker, and it has to be fuzzy logic, that kind of cooker, like computerized. I'm so dummy, but I don't even know how to cook. My husband cooked the rice now. So because it has a certain measurement, you just follow the measurement, but that one has a different features. Like you can cook it in fast, sooner, like 20 minutes or 45 minutes. So I don't know, but tastes really good. So I can send you the brand if you want.
Wonderful. Thanks, Christine.
You're welcome.
Suraj, how does your family cook rice?
Well, in India, people love rice. Like some people have rice every day during lunch. Usually plain rice, but my mom makes something, it's called a biryani. Have you guys heard of biryani? So biryani is like, it's flavored rice with like different spices in it. And they have like meat in them, either chicken or lamb. Some people eat beef. And they put potatoes, maybe eggs, and it's like a long process that you do. It takes time, and you make a full thing of biryani. I don't even know how to explain it, but it tastes really good. Takes really long time to make. The preparation takes the most time. Me being an amateur, I probably would take up to 4 hours to make it. That's why I don't make it. But yeah, it's very good. If I make it, I would love to invite you all to try it someday.
I would love to try it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. I really love it. That's why I don't cook it, so I don't spoil it from my memory. That's why, but I'll make it one day. Yeah, and I want you guys to try it.
You said your mom usually makes it?
Yeah.
What does she cook?
I learned it from her. What does she cook in? It's in a like a pot thingy, but the measurements have to be right. I'm not sure how the measurements are. I think it's like double. I think 1 cup of rice and 2 cups of water, something like that. But yeah, but it's on a flame though, not on a rice cooker.
Cool. That's neat. Thank you so much, Suraj.
Yeah.
Kristen, how does your family make rice?
Okay, so I pull my whole grain rice out of the freezer because fact, if you leave whole grain rice out in a cupboard, you can get like bugs in it. which is something I learned this year. So yeah, I pull it out of the freezer, measure a cup of it, put it in a pot, measure 2 cups of water. Usually I will walk away from the kitchen, get distracted, hear it bubbling over, go back to get it, and then throw it in the garbage because I don't know how to cook rice.
That is the funniest way. Have rice then.
I enjoyed that immensely. Jared, how does your family cook rice?
So when I was young and living with my parents, my mom always cooked rice, Minute Man rice or Minute Maid rice. Took her 5 minutes to make, 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. But ever since I moved out with my parents, I don't think I made rice once. So I think I'm going like 4 or 5 years without eating rice now.
Thanks, Jared. Tyler, how does your family cook rice?
You guys hear me okay?
We can.
Perfect. Yeah, my family is fairly simple. I believe it's the minute rice, big blue box. We fire it on the stove top in the kitchen, boil the water, throw the minute rice in there, and I think maybe it takes 3 to 4 minutes, and that's it. White rice on the table, a little bit of Maggi sauce, we're good to go. French family rice served.
Thanks, Tyler. I'm next on my own screen. My family makes rice also with minute rice, but they use the brown minute rice, so the one in the brown box. And my dad has this old cup that used to have the skyline of Seattle printed on it, and he measures out 2 cups of tomato juice and 1 of these mugs of rice and dumps it in a saucepan, and he puts that on the stove. And he puts that on to boil for 8 minutes, but he stirs it continuously. And then about halfway through, he dumps a bunch of sriracha in it. That's a new addition since we all became adults. Stirs it up, and it's served quite soupy. So rather than being dry, rice at my house is a little bit liquidy, and you serve it with lots of margarine and salt and pepper. Chintan, how does your family make rice?
So I'd say, in back home, we make rice in different varieties. Back home, my mom cooks rice pretty much every day, in lunch. And it's just plain rice. She would put it in the pressure cooker on the stove. And it goes with, I think, 3 whistles. So then it's cooked. And we usually eat the plain white rice, like basmati rice with lentil curry, just so it doesn't look, taste too dry. But then you still get the taste of spices from lentil curry. And here, usually my wife makes it, but kind of similar, process to make the plain rice.
Thanks, Chintan. You're all jumping all over my screen, so Dave, you are next.
Yeah, okay. So I guess growing up in my house, my family was definitely not masteries of cooking. I grew up in a house where a lot of stuff came out of a box or out of the freezer. So rice was like those Sidekick packages or whatever. They're ready in like a couple minutes. But for the many years I've lived on my own, I actually make rice a lot. And I used to do it in the pot, whatever kind of type of rice. I don't know. Usually like basmati is kind of the universal one that I would go with. And I like the texture. But I always used to do it on the pot. 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice, and then whatever kind of spices I was feeling, depending on the meal. But I kind of pull a Kristen a lot and would let it boil over and burn. Did that for like quite a few years, where I just got frustrated with it, and I ended up buying a rice cooker, and that's probably the best thing I ever did, because it's dummy proof, and you literally just add the water, add the rice, add your spice, and literally just hit a button, and it comes out perfect every time. So yeah, that's pretty much. And the rice cooker I have is like ancient now. I've had it for like, I don't know, 15 years or something, and it's seen better days, and all the numbers have worn off and everything's worn off, but like it still works, so I'm not going to replace it. But anyways, that's me.
Thanks, Dave. Mm-hmm. Max, how does your family make rice?
Hello?
Hi, Max.
Okay, you guys can hear me. Just my family just cooks plain, I think it's called basmati rice, I think Dave said. just a little plain white rice. Cook it in a bowl on the stove, or a pan, sorry, and just cook it for like 4 to 5 minutes. My mom usually cooks it. She cooks a lot of it because my little brother really, really likes rice. Like, he eats it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So there's always rice in my house in the fridge. And when my mom cooks it, she just cooks a lot, so my brother can have some. But yeah, just plain white rice on the stove.
Thank you, Max. Chris, how does your family make rice?
My family actually has a tradition. It's been passed down from generation to generation. Yeah, so what we do is we take the rice from a box and we cook it for 5 to 10 minutes with the instructions. And yeah, we've been doing that for a long time. And then also we call each other at the grocery store to like talk about rice. Like sometimes I call my mom and I'm like, so what do you think about this rice? Like, do you think basmati rice is good, or like this and that? And then like I agree with everyone else that like sometimes it boils over, but I hate when it like for some reason it like, because you have to cover it and then on the bottom of it it gets like it sticks to the bottom and like burns the pan. And I'm like, seriously? So like I'm actually thinking about getting a rice cooker now, so should probably get on that. But that's my rice story. Yeah, that's how we cook it from the box.
I love it. Thanks, Chris.
No problem.
Charlene, can you tell us how your family makes rice?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm good.
Yes.
Yep, okay, great. Yeah, I make rice quite a bit. I make a lot of sushi for my kids, so, and I like sushi bowls, so I usually go to the Asian store and I'll buy sushi rice, and I cook it in the rice cooker because it actually, I was burning it on the bottom of the pan too. So about 3 years ago, I got a rice cooker. And I also make regular rice. Actually, my son, that's kind of funny that you said that, because my son actually asked me for rice for breakfast this morning. But yeah, and I also, my dad's from Trinidad, so I make rice with curry as well. So I make rice probably twice a week, maybe, depending on what we're doing. And I'll either put it with salmon or curry, or I'll make sushi.
That sounds delicious. Thanks, Charlene. Kelly, how does your family make rice?
When I was younger, my mom would make like boring white rice from the package, and then she would put like basil in it, and it was gross, and I hated rice as a kid. And she would have it with like, she would serve it with like broccoli and cheese, and that would be classic like 90s dinner, you know. And then now like we'll just make it from the package. I like wild rice, so I usually do wild rice. I tried using a rice cooker and I had the opposite effect. I messed it up in the rice cooker for some reason, but I can make it perfect in the pot. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I had a rice cooker and it didn't work out for me, so I gave it away. That's my story.
Do you still cook it with basil?
No.
Thank you, Kelly. Omar, how does your family cook rice?
Hi guys. So my mom does all the cooking in the house, but my mom has this very, very strict rule that she hates like plain rice. So what she'll do is she'll never, like, that's her one rule, she'll never cook plain rice. So usually like with like Lebanese cuisine, she'll like usually add like chicken or like sauces to it, stuff like that. Like that's one thing, if you ever bring plain rice to the house, she'll kick you out.
What kind of rice does she cook?
I don't know exactly what it's called. I know it's just Lebanese rice. It's like, I don't know if anybody's had it. It's got more of like a yellow tint to it. It's like saffron, I think. But yeah.
That's so good. I want her recipe. That sounds awesome.
I love Lebanese rice.
Then you guys will get along just fine, my friend.
Love it. Thank you, Omar. Did anyone have anything they'd like to add to their rice story?
I think I'm gonna encourage my husband to put like meat and vegetable and everything together, so I don't have to cook the dishes, so he can do everything by himself.
I like that. All good?
Is Aaron here today?
He is not.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Suraj.
Hey, I have a question for all of you. I need an opinion. So I was thinking last night, and I thought that who better to ask than all of you guys. So I'm thinking of sending postcards to my clients, all my clients, saying like, thank you for being like my first 100 clients. I'll probably send it to everyone. And would it be better if we like put a graphic on the like a postcard, or like some people were like they were telling me, why don't you put a photo of yourself on the I'm not sure. I'm thinking a graphic would be nice. Like I'm trying to think from the point of view of a customer to make it more personal. And also we're gonna write something like thank you, and you help to plant a tree as well, because we did that yesterday, which is also, we planted 100 trees yesterday in Ontario. 1 tree planted. But yeah, any ideas on the postcard, guys?
Swaraj, could I just butt in really quick?
Yeah.
Hey guys, just a second.
So as a graphic
Omar.
designer,
Omar, hang on. Let's just wrap up this activity and then we can do a round table and go over that. All right, Suraj? Is that okay?
Sure.
Cool. So hold that thought, Omar. Thank you. Okay. Last call for comments about rice. Cool. All right. So
I think I was gonna say, did you post something about this? Because I read about some like sociology professor or something who would like start for a class. Is that where you pulled it from?
Yeah, I found it on Instagram.
Yeah, that's where I saw it, was Instagram. So I saw the same post like 2 days ago.
That's awesome. Yeah, so as Kelly pointed out, I found this activity on Instagram and I thought it'd be a fun thing for us to do before we went into emotional intelligence training today. So the fun thing about this is that rice is universal. Everyone in this video call has eaten rice before, but we all have different experiences that inform how we eat rice and what rice looks like to us and what we consider home-cooked rice and things like that. And so as we're embarking on our emotional intelligence training, we're going to be learning things about ourselves, and those are going to also be informed by our experiences and the things that we've gone through. And as we learn about business as well, we're going to be learning about things, and we're going to impact our businesses differently based on the experiences that we've had. So when I talk about you guys in all of the other meetings I'm at, people always say to me, wow, what a diverse group. I get that comment pretty much every time I talk about all of you. And they're talking about your diversity of gender and your diversity of business and your diversity of background and your diversity of industries and all of these different things. But that diversity informs how we're going to listen and impact the learnings we take from the people that are coming into this program. And so I think this activity is a good one because we can see that everybody eats rice. Everybody's rice is a little different. Different people have informed the past, present, and future of your rice consumption, and that's going to be the same in your business. So I just want you to keep that in mind as we go into emotional intelligence, because it might get a little personal today. And I want you to have some openness and realize that everyone in this video room has different experiences, just like they have with rice, before we go into that. All right. Cool. Suraj, you may ask your question now.
Omar, you want to say? I think Omar heard.
yeah, I definitely like to butt in, like, and then everyone else can give their opinion as well. I was just gonna say, I definitely think what you want to do is definitely super awesome, because a lot of people like getting that kind of stuff because they feel like it's for them personally, right? So one thing I would definitely recommend is I would definitely go with the graphic, and I would love to help you out with designing that if you were to give me the opportunity to.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's work on it.
I've done a lot of postcards like that for specific clients, and like I've actually noticed that they appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And this is actually like I think Paula's idea when she was like talking as a guest speaker, and she was the one who said that you should do something like this. and that made me think that yeah, why not? This would be so nice.
Yeah, because I was actually going through your Instagram, and I noticed on your Instagram you have a lot, and I mean like a lot of graphics that are posted, right? And you have some on your website too. So
Yeah,
in terms of consistency, I would say stick with that route to make the company look better.
the graphics.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah,
I have a suggestion.
yes.
I think like it's pretty cool that you planted, a tree per customer. And I think like in the postcard, you should really like make sure people know that you've done that and that it's like a huge celebration. And I think like it's a huge milestone that you guys have like come across. And I think you guys should, on the postcard, I think you should have a photo of yourself and maybe talk about yourselves a little bit. And because it's like personal, like
Right.
people
That's
getting
so-
a
that's what
postcard
the
and it's
guy
personal.
told
And, pardon?
That's what he said. Like my partner, he was saying that like you should like put your picture that's more personal. Like for
Yeah,
people.
yeah, just like a story about yourself and your business incorporated with the trees and just saying thank you to everyone. So
I would mention the trees and is a milestone for the company, but at the same time, it's a milestone for the company. So I don't think I'd put your face.
Okay.
Actually, what I was thinking is, why don't you
sell to a corporation eventually, right? So it's a big step for taxably.
Right.
So like thanks to our promise, continuing with our promise to plant one tree with every customer, Taxably is happy to announce that we have planted 100 trees in Ontario. Thanks to you customers or whatever for using our platform. That's my opinion.
Right. Yeah.
That's just my opinion, but that's what I think.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
No problem, bro.
Omar was saying something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, maybe on the postcard you could have like a really, really nice tree illustration with some people on it or some vectors on it of people and saying like, oh yeah, we planted 100 trees and with your customer loyalty, but you know what I mean, like stuff like that. We'll talk about it if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it like
after. Yeah.
We'll send you a chat.
First, awesome.
Any other opinions, guys? I'm open to hearing.
I agree with Kelly. I think a picture would be better because you're writing a letter to say thank you to somebody. Like I wouldn't want a letter from, I don't know, Susie Shearer saying thanks for buying my stuff. I want a letter from the person who's actually putting the thought behind it. That's my opinion. Maybe it's like a gender thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I appreciate a business more when like I know that there's like a face behind it. If it's like a faceless thing, it doesn't mean anything to me. But if there's like a person behind it, I can like connect to that person. And same thing with like small businesses. Like when I order something from like a small business and I get like a personalized thank you card that's like handwritten, like I love that. Like that's great. And that kind of adds like the personal touch where like people like to know there's like a human behind it, not like a faceless robot corporation thing. That's what I think. So
sounds good. Yeah, there's a lot of space on the postcard. We can do graphics and photos, so it's fine.
I agree with Kristen and Kelly because it's less like a commercial, just like Leon or anything. Just give you a postcard, like a blast postcard. Is very like personalized. And I used to be like, I don't like to be seen, but then sometimes you need to brand that company that you have a human touch. And I wonder if there's anything you can integrate, like say next, I don't know, to upsell something, or like you can call me back because whatever, I don't know. So there's an action for them to take on, or maybe ask them for feedback, or I don't know, like rather than just give them a card, use an opportunity. They're reading it. Is there anything that you want them to do more, or you want to get more out of them? That might be a good idea too. I might, if I would
like a call to action kind of a thing.
Something like that, but I don't know what you can offer, or remind them or something. Or do you know, blah, 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 or something like get them thinking about, oh, I gotta come back to you for this because I didn't know.
I was thinking of like sending like one of these and those lanyards with all of them, like to all of the clients.
I don't think you need to send that. It costs you money. Plus, everybody send that anyway. So I don't think it means anything except they're going to carry your product and then advertise for you.
Yeah, free advertising. You hand that out, they start using it taxably. Oh, I never heard of that tax website before. Boom.
Yeah, I used to have a magnet, like the calendar thingy with the name and your number. So next year, or anytime they need to have some help from the tax, then they'll look at the calendar or the magnet on the fridge and say, oh, that's what I call. Because sometimes we forget.
Right. No, perfect.
Oh yeah, I love magnets. I love magnets. Whenever I get a magnet in the mail, I put it on my fridge, whether I care about the company or not. I just boom, there.
There you go.
Suraj, I think this is a key time to remember that video that we watched about public speaking, and that you're gonna get opinions from lots of people, and that's a great thing to do, but do what you want.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear from you guys, because you guys are professionals, and like what you think would you get from a company, would you like if you as a customer. So thank you for all the feedback, guys.
That's your partner research focus group.
Leap Junction focus group. We're gonna start charging for that service for others. Okay, everyone. Thank you for participating this morning. Let's take a 10-minute break, and we will see you back here at about 3 minutes to 10, and then we'll get started with our next workshop, all right? Any questions before we go? Cool. Bye.